research polling from September suggests that Harris currently enjoys an 18-point lead with Hispanic voters, with 57% of registered Latino voters saying that they'll vote for Harris and 39% saying that they'll vote for Trump. While this represents a significant improvement from polls done in the days before Biden dropped out, when Biden had just a 5-point lead, it's still down slightly from 2020, when Biden achieved a 21-point lead, winning 59% of the Hispanic vote, and well down from 2016, when Clinton achieved a 38-point lead, winning 66% of the Hispanic vote. Similarly, Pew polling from August found that Harris enjoyed a 64-point lead among black voters, with 77% of registered black voters saying that they'd vote for Harris, and 13% saying they'd vote for Trump. Again, this is an improvement from Biden, who, according to a Siena poll from earlier this year, had his lead cut to just 43 points. But it's still down from 2020, when Biden achieved an 84-point lead, winning 92% of the black vote, and on 2016, when Clinton achieved an 85-point lead. These Republican gains in Hispanic voters have been particularly great for Trump, though, because of how they've affected the electoral map. In short, Trump's gains amongst Hispanic voters have turned Florida, which has 30 electoral votes, from a crucial swing state in 2016 to a solidly red state in 2024. This is particularly apparent if you look at the county of Miami-Dade, which is where the city of Miami is located. In 2016, Clinton won it by 30 points, but in 2020, Joe Biden won it by only 7.5 points. Helped by a strong performance in Florida's northern rural areas, Trump won the state comfortably in 2020 and is due to win it in 2024 by about 3 points, at least according to current polls. That being said, other states, including Arizona and Texas, have shifted towards the Democrats due to their growing Hispanic populations, but this is yet to make a big difference to the Electoral College arithmetic. Anyway, before we get into the reasons, a tiny bit more data. Trump is also performing particularly well with Arab Americans. An Arab American Institute poll from last month found that Trump actually had a 1-point lead, with 42% of Arab Americans saying that they were planning on voting for Trump compared to a 41% for Harris. This is way down from the 30-point lead that Biden enjoyed in 2020, when about 65% of Arab Americans said that they voted Democrat. Perhaps the only minority group where Harris is outperforming 2020 is Asian Americans. A poll from September found that Harris had a 38-point lead with Asian Americans, with 66% saying that they'd back Harris compared to 28% backing Trump. This is a marked improvement from Biden, who had a 15-point lead before he dropped out, and a 29-point lead in 2020. So why is this? Well, there are actually specific reasons for each of these individual groups. Polling suggests that Gaza is the top issue for Arab Americans, and even if Trump is in many ways more pro-Israel than Harris, Biden's Israel policy means that nearly 80% of Arab Americans now disapprove of the current Democratic administration. When it comes to black voters, Republicans have made especially strong gains with young black voters, who might plausibly be less loyal to the Democrats, given the declining salience of the civil rights struggles of the 1960s. And when it comes to Hispanic voters, polling suggests that the economy is their top priority, and this is Harris's weakest area, along with foreign policy. Certain Hispanic groups, especially diasporas from communist countries with struggling economies like Venezuela, are also more likely to be right-wing on economic issues. And the Trump campaign has, with some success, presented the Democrats as socialist or even communist, while criticizing them for being soft on Cuba and Venezuela. However, as well as these group-specific reasons, there are also at least two general reasons to explain this realignment. First, America's non-white voters have actually always held more conservative views than their voting patterns would suggest. You might think that because black and Hispanic voters historically vote Democrat, they'd be on the left when it comes to social issues. But that's not actually true. Even a decade or so ago in 2012, non-white voters were far more likely than white voters to vote Democrat but still identify as conservative, prefer restrictions on abortion, and prefer a smaller state. An analysis by John Byrne Murdoch at the Financial Times has shown that what's happened in the past few years is that ideologically conservative non-white voters who used to vote Democrat have just started voting Republican, as you'd sort of expect. In 2012, for instance, even very conservative black voters voted overwhelmingly for the Democrats, but in 2020, they split evenly for Biden and Trump. Similarly, in 2012, very conservative Hispanics voted for Republicans by a 20-point margin, but by 2020, that had increased to about 50 points. Burt Murdoch argues that this is in part because minorities have become more likely to socialize outside of their racial group, and this erodes group-wide taboos on Republican voting. The second reason, though, is Obama. In short, it's not that Democrats always did better with minorities, but rather that Obama did. And you can see this by looking at the midterms when Obama himself wasn't on the ballot. In 2010 and 2014, Republicans won about 10% of the black vote and about 35% of the Hispanic vote, similar to Trump's performance in 2016. While Republicans have continued to gain ground since 2016, the point we're making here is that this realignment isn't as sudden as Obama's overperformance can make it seem.
So there you saw, folks, what the polling data is showing and how Trump is making tremendous inroads among the minority population in the voting demographics, in the voting blocks. Yes, Kamala Harris might have the numbers that are greater percentage-wise, but those numbers percentage-wise in a majority of these voting demographics are much less than they were under Joe Biden, under Barack Obama, and even under when Hillary Clinton ran in 2016. So what the Democrats are basically trying to say here is that, look, she's doing well with these people. I mean, they said 77% of black voters are going to vote for her. 13% are voting for Trump. That's 90%. Is that 10% undecided? Folks, even if she got all 10%, that would give her 87% of the black vote. She needs to be higher. She needs to be... Look, Clinton got 91% and lost. Biden got 92% and just barely squeaked by. So based on this math, based on the numbers that they're just basically posted out there, she's losing in the demographic of the black vote. She's losing in the Asian vote. She's basically tied with the Arab American vote. She is losing among white men. She is losing among black men under the age of 50, almost 25%. I think that number is going to be higher. She's losing under the union vote. Every demographic that is out there, she is either below Biden or losing. Take a look at what difference a day makes here, folks. It was before, I think prior to this yesterday, it was 281 because they gave PA for the last week in the RCP as Republican. Well, Michigan now is... Now I'm going to show you some of the stuff that's happened over the course of the day in terms of just a sort of a chronological hour-by-hour summation of what's going on today here, which is the 9th of October. So Michigan now, on the RCP polling average, is gone the red column. It is now Vance, Trump, Vance, 296 to 242. I mean, folks, it doesn't get much better than this. The poly markets, those have absolutely jumped into Trump territory, even larger percentages now. Now, let's take a look at what's happened on an hour-by-hour basis. There's so much stuff happening in the news, folks. Trump is going to visit two places where you probably never thought he would go to, amongst all the other battleground states that he's going to. But he's going to be visiting, folks, California. He's booking Madison Square Garden in the state of New York City. Anyways, let's go to those news clips. Let me give you a huge summation. You're watching the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show, and we appreciate you taking the time. You all know what to do. Like, share, and follow us if you like this content. Let's see what's happening in the state of politics all over the United States of America. So look at this here, folks. Trump closing out the race. 2 Pennsylvania events today. Many, many more to go. You know he's going to be traversing around the swing states, just like he did in 2016, just like he did in 2020. He's also declined the Fox News debate invite. Says he already accepted one for October 4th. Harris turned it down. Here's basically what he says. I won the last 2 debates, one with Crooked Joe, the other with Lion Kamala, because I accepted the Fox News invitation to debate Kamala on September 4th, but she turned it down. J.D. Vance easily won his debate with tampon Tim Walz, who calls himself a knucklehead. I am also leading in the polls, with the lead getting bigger by the day and leading in all the swing states. Man, I'll tell you what, I love the way he writes. Just absolutely amazing. Amazing. They're saying that Kerry Lake is absolutely, dropping Gallego round by round. Oh, here's something. Anthony Scaramucci said Trump is going to lose PA. Right? The Harris registrations are growing exponentially. This is Anthony the Scam Scaramucci. So look at what's happened here, folks. Take a look. November 2022 versus November 2020. All right? Democrats. In 2020, they had almost a 700,000 plus lead. That was in 2020. In November of 2022, that lead from 700,000 to 550. For those of you that are a little shy in math, that's about 150,000 plus to the Republicans. Take a look, total party registration. Democrat advantage now. It was 550 in November of 2022. Democrat advantage right now, 325,485. I mean, folks, it's 225,000 lost again. Changed from September to now. Pennsylvania voter registration. Republicans, almost 61,000. Democrats, 36,000. Independents, 33,000. I mean, it's just... Vance is going to hold a town hall in Reading, Pennsylvania, this Saturday. Oh, here's one thing. Tim Walz went to a World of Warcraft stream tonight. Can't find it. Oh, this is something here, folks. Man, that's so true. Somebody tied a dog to the pole. I guess state troopers, they found a dog tied to a pole out there. That person needs to be found, needs to be convicted, and he needs to put the death sentence, period. Oh, here that is. Florida Highway Patrol troopers rescue a dog tied to a pole on I-75. That's just sick, man. That's just sick. New Georgia poll, Trump up by 1.3 from Trafalgar. So this is just Trump out there, Reading, Pennsylvania. I mean, it's just amazing, folks. The energy, the stamina. The 78-year-old. And just going out there. I mean, people want him to go out there and, talk for just stay on point. Just stay focused. Just talk about immigration. Just talk about the economy. Talk about job creation. Talk about security. Talk about the border. Well, come on now. You know what? You got to be able to talk about some other things if you're going to be up there for 2 hours. Then people are going to be bored. He's an entertainer. He's got to put the other stuff inside there. Absolutely. Let's see what else is happening here. Oh, okay. Here's one. Here's a successful style campaign. Attack a governor whose state is undergoing 2 major hurricanes. Rain the View. Call her daddy for a softball interview. And then basically just run on the failed record of Joe Biden. Oh, here's something, folks. Listen to this.
What is more concerning? These conversations and these COVID machines, or the fact that we've been sending who are now funding terrorism and attacking our biggest ally, and Kamala Harris goes on TV and says this is our biggest geopolitical foe, which it's not. But the relationship between Biden and Obama and Harris and the Iranians, to me, is far more
I just want to
troubling
clarify
than this
here.
Putin issue.
You're talking.
I think the point Trump has continuously made is I will command more respect from all parties involved than Harris or that Biden has. And even in this Woodward book, which we're referencing today, Biden is blaming Obama for Russia's aggressiveness in the first place. And so it would be reasonable for a person to read that and assume there is some dysfunction in the Democratic ranks that is emboldening or making Putin feel emboldened about what he's doing. And Trump is playing on that. He's saying, look, they respect me more, therefore I'm more capable of getting to a quick solution.
There's also
They're evaluating some of this through what happened in Afghanistan. I mean, let's be honest. That's when Biden and Harris went underwater, August of 2021. And there has been a real concern about their judgment on foreign policy ever since. So I think Harris has a high bar, if only because we saw what happened in Afghanistan. When she said she couldn't think of one thing that she would have changed about Biden, the fact that she didn't say, I wish we could have gotten a better outcome for those 13 soldiers. I do think that's in people's minds right now as they're.
You know, folks, I don't think you could have said it any better. He is so right about that, Scott Jennings. The fact that she could have easily said, you know what? We tried our best at that time. You know, we were saddled with this. We were saddled with that. The previous administration, whatever. But Joe Biden and I, we tried our best. And the fact that 13 Marines, 13 soldiers, 13 Americans died, we certainly, looking back on that, we certainly could have handled that better. Or taken a look into see what was it that caused that grievous, disastrous thing to occur. But they don't even want to go there, folks. They don't even want to go there. And look, they were all quiet. They can't say anything. They have to shut their pie. They have to shut their mouth. They can't say a damn thing. They know it's true. Scott Jennings crushes them every time he talks. He just literally puts them in their place. He's just great. And here's one. Wisconsin has now flipped for Trump in the poly market. So here you've got Arizona. He's up 67-33. Michigan, he's up by 2, 51-49. Georgia, 65-35. Wisconsin, we said just flip. He's up by 2. Pennsylvania, he's up by 8. Nevada, Harris, that's the only one. She's up by 4. And I think Trump is going to take that one as well, folks. This is leaked internals from Open Labs. So it's showing Wisconsin, Trump +1, Pennsylvania, Trump +4. These are leaked internals from Kamala Harris, folks. Michigan, Trump +2. Now, here's something here to solace for some of you, Kamala people. Rasmussen reports, this is what will happen. The left will seize on this. Maybe they won't because they don't want to give any credence to Rasmussen reports. But today, in the rolling average on the daily tracker, Trump on October 3rd was up 7. Let's look at this here. Let's go. October 1st, he's up by 3. He's down by 3, so 0.6. Pulls up to 7, a 10-point swing. October 6th, He's at 5. He's down by 2. Down by 6. Folks, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But here's a 5-day rolling moving average. He's still up by 2. Doesn't matter. These are just daily things that Rasmussen reports that nobody else does. There's one. Florida man puts up a Trump flag. Naples, Florida. It's a new national poll by Noble Predictive. Harris up by 2. This is when we talked about taking the lead in Michigan and Poly Market. Oh, I bet you this is triggering New Yorkers. The betting market at Kalshi. That's right, folks. Look at this, a live odds. Times Square. Have them winning 52-48. So far, about $3 million live odds have been bet there at Kalshi, another betting market. Biden praises DeSantis again after Kamala keeps attacking him. Oh boy, the gift that keeps on giving. Joe, good old Joe. Thank you, Joe. We salute you, sir. Our president. Good job. Here's one. The wind. It sounds so beautiful. The wind, the wind. The wind is bullshit out there. The wind is bullshit. Let's hear this.
Wonderful. The wind is bullshit. I'll tell you, it's horrible. The wind, it sounds so wonderful. The wind is bullshit. I'll tell you, it's.
Oh, here's one. Look at this. This is incredible, folks. She's raised $1 billion freaking dollars. $1 billion in the last 10 days. He took the lead in Pennsylvania and Michigan. $100 million in a day over the. I mean, if that's what if you took that over the last 10 days and just took it out. I mean, he took the lead, Pennsylvania and Michigan. Amazing. Oh, they're talking about that at Kalshi betting odds after multiple polls came out showing Kamala Harris underwater. Look, folks, even her own, Slotkin is saying in Wisconsin or in Michigan, and Tammy Baldwin, they're crying, they're leaking their internals and saying, we're losing out here. We're losing the Senate seat in Michigan. We're losing the Senate seat in Wisconsin. Unbelievable. Let's see what else is here. Oh, get this now. 538 is questioning Quinnipiac. All of a sudden, Quinnipiac's trying to put out some polls that are sort of, giving the Trumpster some good numbers after being demonstrably left-leaning in previous election cycles. And they basically have them as rated 17th best on 538. But now they're questioning Quinnipiac. Oh, they're Quinnipiac. The survey variance on Q polls has been incredibly high all cycle. Steve Korniak. Guess what, folks? And this I was talking about this before. He's making a play for states in Virginia, Minnesota, New Mexico. As we talked about, they just rented out. Remember we talked about this? Rented out Madison Square Garden. Let's hear this.
Hasn't been done in a long time. We just rented Madison Square Garden. We're going to make a play. We're going to make a play for New York. Hasn't been done in a long time. We just rented Madison Square Garden. We're going to make a play. We're going to make a play for New York. Hasn't been done in
right? Here's one. Immediate release. Harris trying to lose Nevada and Arizona. They're trying to lose Nevada and Arizona. October 9th. Harris campaign launches Hombres con Harris. Hombres con Harris. Trying to mobilize Latino men across the battleground cities. I don't know if this is a joke or if this is real, but you know what, folks? For her going on all these shows, going on Colbert, drinking a beer, housing around, while thousands and thousands of Americans are absolutely being devastated, lost their homes, lost their belongings, lost loved ones, hundreds of people dying in Hurricane Helene, the aftermath, in Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, and she's out there popping open a can of beer and yucking it up with her cackling, laugh with Stephen the A-hole Colbert, going on Howard Stern, Who's Your Daddy podcast, the CBS fiasco where they had to re-edit her words to make her at least sound coherent. Unbelievable. Let's see what else is happening in the news here. Georgia poll. GST North Star. Never heard of them, but they have it tied in Georgia. Arizona. Harris up by 1. Nevada. Harris up by 1. North Carolina poll. Same people. GST and North Star. Trump up by 1. Pennsylvania tied. Here's a Nate Silver. Harris still 53.5 electoral college probability. Trump at 46.2. I have a feeling that Nate is going to change his tune as we start getting closer and closer to the election date. I really do. There's that dog that's been saved now, so everybody can relax. Florida State Troopers doing their job. Here's a Michigan Senate poll, folks. Slotkin and Rogers tied. That's Quinnipiac. Likely voters, over 1,000 likely voters. And the new recent Quinnipiac polls, if you base a battleground map, Trump on Quinnipiac. Trump 276. And Quinnipiac isn't even giving PA. They're giving Michigan and Wisconsin and Georgia and North Carolina. They've still got Arizona and Nevada as a toss-up. But based on this, Trump 276. Let's see here. And this is the one that I just showed you. Trump flipped Michigan in the Real Clear Politics polling map. Flips Michigan as well as PA now at 296. There it is. At this time, folks, Biden on October 9th was at 6.7 points. Clinton, 2016, they were showing Michigan. Clinton was up 7.3. Right now, because it flipped, Trump is at 0.5 because of the latest Quinnipiac drop of +4. I mean, that is an unbelievable swing of nearly 11 points on this day if you take the Quinnipiac poll. Now, this just seems strange. Trump wins Pennsylvania independence by 6 points in a new Quinnipiac poll in a head-to-head matchup, but he trails Kamala by 2 points. But he's up by 4 in Michigan and up by 2 in head-to-head. That's just, why is Pennsylvania, it's just strange. It's like the Atlas poll that dropped that shows, Pennsylvania He was down by 3 or something. I mean, out of all of the polls, the blue wall states, Michigan is the more liberal. You would think, but I mean, I just can't see winning Wisconsin, winning Michigan, and losing Pennsylvania. I mean, it's just so improbable. Not impossible, but very highly improbable. Here you see Quinnipiac, 1,400 likely voters. Harris up by 3 in Pennsylvania. In that same poll, Michigan, he's up by 4. And I told you folks, it's the Arab American vote. Oh, if you folks didn't know, the abandoned Harris coalition in Michigan and around the United States officially endorsed Jill Stein and Butch Ware, the Green Party. I'm not even talking really about the third party candidate here, Jill Stein. I think she's going to surprise a lot of people in these battleground states. That third party candidacy, I think it really has some wheels. It's got some people that are really pissed off on the left. All these other voting groups, especially Arab Americans and Black American voters as well. So that's pretty much in a nutshell, folks. Oh, here's something. So, Quinnipiac's blue wall polls. As I said, PA is a clear outlier. Trump's lead on the economy is just 2 points. That doesn't even make any sense. He's up just 2 points in PA? In PA, he's up 2 points? Or he's up 8 to 9 points in Wisconsin, Michigan? But he goes, so yeah, that should give you an idea that if that's the case, PA is furthest from reality. So in the economy, there it is. 49% say Trump. 47% say Harris. 53% Michigan. That seems more likely. 8-point lead in Michigan. 9-point lead. 9-point lead in Wisconsin on the economy. Immigration. 4-point lead for Trump. A 9-point lead in Michigan on immigration. An 8-point lead in Wisconsin. You got a 4-point lead on immigration. You have a 2-point lead on the economy. We talked about, where was that up here? Independence by 6 points. But somehow you're trailing by 2. I don't know. I don't get that math. I really don't. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. Hope you've liked our content. If you do, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow. You all know what to do. Put your comments down below. Let me know what you think. My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.